Hi everybody, it's July 17th, time for another walkabout in the garden, and I'll show you what's happening. The Georgia native Rudbeckia is now in bloom. I have it planted throughout the garden, and as you can see, the bees have found it, so I'm really looking forward to that, hosting a lot of beneficial insects in the garden. As we walk in from this direction, the peppers are doing really well. You know, in an earlier video, I talked about how these were really getting attacked by slugs. And it was several weeks ago at this point. Hey, Larry. Hello. So they're doing really well now. And what I did was beer traps. Put those into the soil, filling them with, low quality beer, because I'm not going to waste good beer on beer traps. But we had a lot of small slugs consume some of that beer, and that solved the problem. And as you can see right now, all the peppers are thriving. They're really putting on the fruit, and I'm happy about that. Parsnips and carrots, the bush beans have been mostly picked. The winter squash trellis, this side has some varieties that don't have vines that grow as tall or as long, and so this is why, part of the reason why they haven't filled out so much in this trellis, whereas the one down the way, which we'll get to, is very full due to the varieties that I've selected. On the tomatoes, they're still hanging in there. Lots of big tomatoes ready to pick today. I've been continuing to aggressively cut out diseased foliage, and I've pulled out some of the plants. I think I've pulled out about 5 so far, maybe 6, but you can see they're still loaded with fruit. And even the ones where I've cut out most of the foliage, they have enough foliage to ripen, breaker stage, all of these really. I have a big harvest day coming up today with many of these tomatoes on top of all the ones that we've already picked. So it's been a very, very good year for large tomatoes, plenty to share, and of course, lots to eat. All right, let's talk about this winter squash trellis right here. It looks good, it's really full. Fruit everywhere, but one of the reasons I don't love growing brassicas is because of the pests that are attracted to them. And when you have fruit like winter squash or summer squash, pickle worm is a frequent visitor. And pickle worm is a tiny little worm. It's a green worm that bores into the fruit, and more often than not, you don't see the worm until it's already in there, so that your first sign is that. And if you leave them in there, they can just bore through everything, and it's not a pretty sight. And then, I don't know if I can capture this, but there is, right there, it's hard to see from here, but those are squash bug eggs, and every day, I see 2 clusters right now. I have to cut those off the leaves because who needs more squash bugs, right? And then squash beetles, another challenge. But we do what we do to maintain some ability to try to stay ahead, or at least on top of what happens. But that's not going away. Those guys will be challenging me every day. So get out there if you're growing winter squash or other cucurbits, and do the same if you're... The other thing you could do is BT, biological control Bacillus thuringiensis, and spray ahead rather than powder, because that would be awkward to dust your fruit. But that will last a few days, and then you'd have to reapply if it rained. Spinosad is another organic control that lasts longer, but it is broad spectrum, so be careful if you use that, and only spray it at night or after the pollinators have retired for the night, so that you don't kill unintended insects. So it's a cloudy day. Maybe we'll get some rain. It's been in the mid-90s forever, but today it's only going to get into the high 80s, so we're looking forward to that, and I know the plants are too. So that's it for now, and I will see you back here next week for another update. Thanks for watching.